I'm Chip Lord.
I'm Jack Massing.
And I'm Sean Miller.
I'm going to begin by reading a description of the original surrealistic or surrealist event. This is from the catalog of an exhibition at the Drawing Center in New York in 1993. It went to other venues. That was a remake of the Exquisite Corpse. Making one of the first public appearances, Les Cadavres Exquis was the subject of the reopening exhibition of La Galerie Surrealist in Paris in 1927. Had we attended this event, we would have experienced the Surrealist movement in its heyday and found Les Cadavres Exquis in his prime. An honored guest to any gathering, the Exquisite Corpse was the enfant terrible of Surrealist games, a metamorphic being cropping up not only at exhibitions, but at cafe tables and hotel rooms, even once strolling the Ramblas in Barcelona, where artist Marcel Jean recollects. Crowds filled the cafe terraces until late at night, clapping hands to call the waiters, so we imagined that they were cheering us as we passed by. So in 2020, or so, the three of us, proposed doing a modern version using video, the Exquisite Moving Corpse. And I think we began in mid-March 2020 with the first call. And the project began with each of us making a 1 minute video. I made the first one, and I happened to have this object, which is the bicycle wheel that Marcel Duchamp originated. And there were no originals of that work, so I figure mine's as authentic as the one at the Museum of Modern Art. I took it out to the backyard. I made a video meandering through my backyard and arriving at the bicycle wheel. Jack made the second minute and Sean made the third minute.
So the idea basically was that we would send the last frame of each video to the next artist in the line or the chain, and they would respond to it. And once they got the last frame, they could do anything they wanted, really. The hope was that there would be some type of segue or liaison between the visual image of the last frame of Chip's to the first frame of mine, the last frame of mine to the first frame of Sean's, and so on and so forth. And some people ignored that to a certain degree, and some people really focused on that last frame. Several artists took the last frame and used it as the first frame of their video. One artist, in fact, printed out the last frame and their first frame and used it in a paper airplane. So the frame was then folded and constructed and thrown in the video. So there were a lot of creative choices made by the different artists who were involved.
Right. And I think the appeal of it for the three of us in getting the ball rolling with it was that we were each going to connect with 19 other artists that we knew and kind of play this game with them. And it was happening at the same time as COVID was making people's shows and everything kind of grind to a stop. And so it was really fun to brainstorm and think about who you were going to contact and ask if they would participate, because it felt like you were working with a larger project with a bunch of people that some of whom you've never worked with before, because we're all contacting different people and getting to know what they do.
Yeah, and for that reason, it ended up taking almost exactly 2 years to complete, because it could only be put together sequentially. So some people responded very quickly and others not so much.
Others not even at all.
That's right. So we dropped them off the list and went to the next one down on the list.
Yeah.
we didn't think about it in terms of the pandemic, I don't think necessarily, but it ended up being fitting exactly the time frame of the pandemic, pretty much 2+ years.
Yeah, we had been meeting weekly with Zoom calls anyway, just to talk and to throw other ideas around. And this was an idea that was born out of that conversation. So then we thought, well, let's try to do that, you know, and in a way, it was easy for us because all we had to do was invite someone else to be involved. And there was just a lot of waiting and emailing and calling once in a while. But it worked out fine. I think there were some frustrations in the production of it with certain people that would not read the instructions carefully. We were hoping to have all horizontal images or horizontal video, and several people decided to do vertical. Some of those were remade, but we kind of wanted a continuity there, but it ended up not really mattering after all.
The spirit of it, though, is something that I feel is really positive, in that there's some really interesting, busy artists that got involved with it, that you know, that we didn't have any, we weren't using funding or anything like that, so it was really like a game that was being played you know, by this large group of people, which I really enjoy watching it. And also there's I think a high degree of, we tried really not to show examples to anybody except for the previous frame or anything like that. And so people were really working on it in different ways. Some people put a huge amount, I think, of time into it and consideration, and other people treated it like something really fast, you know, that they just wanted to turn around quickly because we were asking for a quick turnaround. So there were varying levels of production and things that went into it. But I like the spontaneity in some of them versus the, you know, it was just interesting the way people responded.
Yeah, but it's important to say that no money changed hands in the making of the Exquisite Moving Corpse, and nobody balked at that. Everybody who was invited participated and never expected to be compensated. And if you want to watch it again, it's going to be now free online, and you just write to Jack, and he'll give you the link.